Pod Sound School presents Content Jefe, the podcast that helps online business owners make better content and more money. Let's Jefe up.
Hey, Jefe, welcome to another episode of Content Jefe, Better Content, More Money. I'm Studio Steve, and I'm going to be your host for this episode. Last episode, Veronica covered why you should start an online course. And in this episode, I'm going to pick up where she left off, hoping that you decided that you do want to make an online course. And I'm going to talk about what actually goes into creating an online course. And this is the perfect time for us to put these two episodes together because we are actually in the middle of completely recreating our signature course, Smart and Simple Podcasting 2.0. This is the second version of it that's going to be coming out soon. And there's so much that goes into creating the course. So right now, while it's fresh in our minds, is a perfect time for us to share some insights with you. So in this episode, we're going to talk about what it takes to create an online course. And I'm going to break that up into three parts, or the three things that it takes. A course promise, then a platform to host your course, and then the course content. And with the content, we're going to talk about some of the gear and kind of the different ways that you can get started with actually creating the lessons inside of your course. This is going to be really fun and a short episode, so why don't we get right to it? So let's start with the first one on the list, your course promise. This seems like it should be pretty straightforward and obvious, right? Like, well, my online course is about this, so this is what I'm teaching, and that's what the promise is. But it actually goes a lot deeper than that, and this is something that ourselves, we didn't have a firm grasp on as when we first ventured into the world of creating online courses. So you want your promise to be really specific and you want it to be compelling. And when you're talking about specific, what you're talking about is being specific about who your course is for, like really specific. So a great first point in your promise is I help who, so who you specifically help, and I help them to achieve this, which is a big result. What are they going to achieve by the end of taking my course? And how I help them achieve that is with this thing, is with this framework, is with this intellectual property that I have developed. And then you could also add a without, which is like without having to overcome all of these other obstacles or without any big objection. It's another big claim that you're making inside of your promise. This is such a big deal to have a clear promise because it's going to help you know more specifically what kind of content you should create in your course. It's also going to help you to attract the right leads or the right customers for your course who are actually going to use it for their specific needs. So you really want to spend some time here and make sure that you are actually solving a problem for this specific person with a very specific framework or skill set that you have. So here's an example of our course promise for the current course that we're working on, Smart and Simple Podcasting. We teach online business owners how to introduce podcasting into their busy workflows without spending more than 2 hours a week. And then to elaborate on that, we could also say, so they can more easily network, build authority, and turn prospects into buyers. So you see, online business owners, not just business owners, but specifically like online business owners is who we're targeting. And that's who we teach. And we're, instead of just teaching somebody how to start a podcast, which is kind of what the first version of our course was all about, was how to launch this incredible, smart and simple podcast. Now it's actually how online business owners can use podcasting as part of their marketing strategy, which is one of the best possible things you could use as part of your marketing strategy. So it's very specific, which allows us to now tailor all of the content in the course a lot more specifically to online business owners. And it also allows us to attract the right leads, online business owners, to purchase our course, which is going to create a better situation for both us and for our students. Then once you have that all figured out, then you can actually start your outline and you can put together the outline of your course. And, maybe I should have said a good outline and a good skeleton and actually the intellectual property itself. All of that, of course, is what you're going to need for your online course. But I think so many of us have that to begin with. We just really need to package it in a good course promise that will help us to put together the outline in a more strategic way that's easier for us, to where we don't have to waste a lot of time and wind up putting all of our efforts and all of our talents into creating all this amazing content inside of our course that doesn't really resonate with a very specific student. So once you have that all figured out, then we can move on to number 2, which is a hosting platform. So there are a few really popular online course platforms. There's Thinkific or Teachable, but our favorite and the one that we have been using for 3 years now is Kajabi. And Kajabi is specifically really cool for business owners because you can have Kajabi be your one-stop shop for all of your things. It has email marketing baked into it, which is one of the reasons we chose Kajabi, because we can have all of our email marketing within the same monthly expense of using Kajabi. But you can also have your own online courses. Now you can actually go live in Kajabi. You can run coaching programs directly into Kajabi. You can host your podcast directly from Kajabi. So that can save you a little bit of money from your podcast hosting fees if you're using a paid podcast host. It's continually updated. It has a lot of the top online courses in the industry right now are hosted on Kajabi. And maybe that's why we chose it too, is because we wanted to be on the best. So the hosting platform you choose may be based on your budget, but it may also be based on the type of content that you want to put onto the platform. So you want to make sure that the platform can support any of the type of content that you want to put on or how you're planning on teaching your online course. And that transitions us into the last part of this episode. And that's the content. So to talk a little bit of shop real quick about the content that you put into your course. What is the goal that you really have for your course? I think it's tied into the course promise, right? You want to help a certain person, a certain ICA, ideal customer avatar, achieve a certain thing, or to where you could actually provide real results for somebody. That's amazing. So really, when you're thinking about the content, it is going to take a lot of back and forth with your outlining. You may have to record or create video lessons or slideshow lessons, throw them in the trash and create them again, and then throw them in the trash and then rework your outline 100 times. And that's all part of the process of creating a really great course, because the content doesn't just have to be educational, informative, and useful. It also ought to be entertaining and enjoyable, and you also need to find a way to sort of cut the fat and make it more streamlined, especially depending on the time that you imagine that your ICA or that your student is going to have. In our case, online business owners, they're very busy. They need to be able to learn highly technical skills in addition to marketing skills and a lot of theory as well that goes into creating an amazing podcast that's really going to reinforce and build up and be a cornerstone of their marketing efforts in their business. How do you even fathom putting that together in a series of video lessons and modules that is going to be enjoyable for them, but it is also going to be extremely informative, and that they can come back and navigate through the course in a way that is intuitive and helpful for them? And so are you going to allow lifetime access to your course? Would you rather just have your course sort of be written content that you coach? And so instead of making an online course, you can make a coaching program where you deliver written content to your students. And you have maybe 6 months or 3 months of coaching sessions that you do with them where you go over that material together. And that is really popular. And with that, you can charge a much higher ticket price for a coaching program than you can for an online self-paced course. So there's the structural content of it, there's the written content of it, there's the strategizing part of it all, but then there's also the technical side of things. So you can start, like I said, with just written content and then just show up with the camera that's on your laptop computer to do live coaching sessions with your students. But I would suggest that you really at least have a USB microphone so that the audio is really good in any kind of presentation that you're going to give, even if it is a live coaching session. You want your audio to stand out. And you at least should invest in a $100 web camera, if not spree for a somewhat prosumer style video camera like the Sony ZV-1 that goes for $800 or the Canon M50. But the Sony ZV-1 camera that goes for $800 can be hooked into your computer. You can use it for live recording. It's a great vlogging camera. You can use it for, YouTube videos and stuff, but it also works really great to record your own video lessons. So you can either have a camera hooked up to your computer, and then you can actually use a program like Canva Pro to film yourself in Canva and actually put together your presentations with a Canva slideshow that you put together. And it will record high quality audio if you have a USB microphone plugged into your computer, and it will also record high quality video if you have that Sony ZV-1 camera or something like that plugged into your computer as well. And then of course you can go up even a notch from that and get into professional video production, which is something we specialize in and that we are insistent to have a high level of production quality in all of the content that we create, but especially in our online courses, because we feel like it helps the student to feel like they're part of something. It helps to sort of cut through the noise, and it's just a good touch. It's really important for us, but it's not completely necessary. And I know many very high performing and also extremely helpful online courses are created without the use of the highest level of video production or anything like that. But you will want to at least look at getting like a ring light or some type of flattering lighting on you, and, invest in an $800, $1,000 worth of video equipment and then a $100 USB microphone. And you're really going to be taking your online course up a notch from there. And then once that's done, you're going to, of course, have to edit these lessons together, which is something that you'll have to learn how to do a little bit of video editing and audio editing so that you can make edits in your presentations, whether you do the presentations in Canva, or if you want to do them in a more advanced way, you can screen record your presentations on your computer with different screen recording software as well. And many times, especially in this digital world, we are teaching people how to do things on computers. So you would find a program like ScreenFlow or Camtasia on a PC to be very useful as far as capturing your screen. And those programs also allow you to capture a camera feed and an audio feed as well. So it's very complex, and we could do many episodes just on the complexities of video production and screen capture and how to actually create all of these different video lessons. But really, you can start with a script. You can start with a presentation. You can start with a slideshow. And that's a really perfect place to start because you can build on top of that. And I would also say not to allow too much of this need of high quality, the highest quality video production to get in your way of progress and to get in your way of just putting out an online course. Because something that we have most certainly learned is that it takes many iterations of an online course before you really start to arrive at something just delicious and beautiful and amazing. And it also takes a lot of different online courses. This is going to be our 5th online course that we're working on right now. And I feel like we're really hitting those eureka moments and we're really hitting on something special. So I know that if you just get out there and get started, that perhaps is the best way to learn, is just to get in there, roll your sleeves up and get dirty with the thing. You know what I mean? Well, hopefully you found that helpful. Let us know what thoughts you have, what you would like to hear us talk about on this podcast. You can comment right where you're listening or watching this podcast. And you can also come find us on social media at Pod Sound School. You'll find Veronica on Instagram. So definitely go hit her up there, and you can find me on Twitter. And until next episode, good luck with your content creation and business endeavors. And remember, Hefe up.